When starting to design a course, the first thing to think about is the textbook, the activities you'll do, tests you'll give, or the context of the class. Take a few seconds to think about it. What do you remember? Well, first thing with designing a course, if it's your textbook, that may not match your course goals. So, it's not that one. Activities you'll do. That comes way later. First, you need to think of what are your unit titles going to be before you can even think about activities. Tests you have to give. Well, you know there are going to be tests, but what's going to be on them? How will they be designed? When will you give them? There's a lot more that comes before that. So, ding! The context of the class. What are your students going to be like? What kind of space do you have? What resources? 8 review. Let's go over a few tests. First question. Mari is reading a short story for fun. She is engaging in extensive or intensive reading. Think about it for a sec. Well, when we're reading for fun, we're usually reading a lot, not something small, and we're looking for the general idea of the reading, feelings and emotions and what's happening and how does that connect to what else happened. So it's not intensive. We're looking for that extensive reading experience that's just providing reading fluency. Question 1. A full paragraph dictation is a good activity for beginning students, intermediate students, or the first week of class. Think about it. Dictation involves a lot of language. It's not just how to spell words, it's grammar and punctuation. But they can do it. You never want to do a complex dictation on the first week of class. Your students will get really overwhelmed, and they'll say, about what we learned about teaching speaking to prepare you for the test and to review. First question. Which of the following is a good question to elicit speaking? Do you like cats? What's your favorite summer activity? Do your parents make you play outside? Is your computer older or newer? Take a second to think about eliciting speaking. One of the major things about eliciting speaking is asking a question that has more than a yes or no answer. You don't want this. Students aren't going to say anything other than, yes, I like cats, or no, I hate cats. You want more than that. So, do questions are generally just yes or no. Do your parents make you play outside? Yes, no. There's no other information asked for. Is your computer older or newer? That's not a yes or no question, but there are only 2 answers. Older. How many times should you play a listening task? Once, 2 to 3 times, 5 times, or as many times as the students need. If you only play the listening task once, then students probably didn't get all of the information they need. Even when native speakers are listening to something important, they'll rewind it and play it again. So you don't want to play it just once. You also don't want to play it endlessly, because then students will know they can just hear it next time. They won't focus their listening on the task. So you want to play it a limited number of times. Usually, 2 to 3 times is best. The first time, you have the students just listen. Don't write. Don't do anything else. Only listen and soak in the information. And then, the second time you play it, students can start working on their activity. If they need it one more time, fine, that's great. But as many as 5, that's way too many. It's disrupting your lesson, and students aren't understanding. So maybe your listening task was too difficult. 2 to 3 materials development. Let's do a little bit of review on our last unit, developing materials. Question 1. Your textbook activities are often too short. You can, expand them into bigger worksheets, do 2 different activities together, or do several of them in one class. What do you think? Doing several activities from a textbook in one class can be kind of boring because your students are always looking at their textbook. Even if the activities are varied, they've still got the same book open in front of them. So that's right out. Doing 2 different activities together can be kind of confusing for your students because they are different, and your students really want to do one thing at a time. Again, if you give them too much at once, then they'll get overwhelmed. They'll forget what they have to do. So expand those worksheets, those activities, into bigger worksheets. Make them longer, add more